Welcome, friends,
to the How-To Heretic.
I'm Uncle Mark.
And I'm Uncle Dan.
And I'm Uncle Doug.
And this is your user's guide to life. Hopefully you're on the inside.
That's right. Leaving religion is the first step into a larger, better world.
But it can also be a scary world. And it really is right now. Things work differently now.
Never fear. That's why we're here.
We are your 3 surviving audio uncles, and with help from good friends and experts in all sorts of fields.
But maybe not virology. We're going to share the stories and seek the knowledge to build a great life.
After all, you only get the one that we know of, so you'd better wash your hands.
Gentle uncles.
Hello.
Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ.
It is a weird-ass time in the history of the world right now.
Yeah, even though all your uncles are in the same city, we are in 3 remote places.
That's right.
Because I don't trust them as far as I can throw them.
We are your audio uncles of the afterscape. And we want your gasoline. So we hope you guys are all doing well out there. We're so sorry. This is such a stupid time to be alive. But let's try to let's join hands or not together and try to make it even stupider this week with episode 130. Hot off the presses. Doug, you're going to help us rearrange our furniture a little bit.
I'm going to talk to us about the how your couch is not facing the right direction to ward off the coronavirus.
That's right.
And Dan, you can tell us about a big fire miracle, I think.
I am going to prove once and for all that the Bible is the final arbiter of what is moral.
Perfect. And I'm going to tell you people to knock some shit off, and I really hope you'll take me seriously.
Yeah.
So let's.
For the first time ever, we're hoping that you take Uncle Mark seriously.
Yeah.
It's a big ask. We understand that.
But if not, whatever. Don't. I don't care. Doesn't matter anymore. So with that positive note, let us race forward.
Well, I do want to mention. I'm going to interject and say and remind everybody that in this time of uncertainty around you and coronavirus just spreading like a son of a bitch everywhere in the world, the one part of the economy that's still booming is the delivery of goods to your home, which can happen with T-shirts, blankets, etc. for you to snuggle in during the apocalypse with the How-To Heretic logo right on it.
Spread our merch like a virus, just to all corners of the world. And we don't think it will prevent coronavirus, but it's awfully comfortable to lounge around the house for 2 weeks to 2 months in.
And we have no proof that it won't cure the virus. We don't know, but we have no proof that it doesn't cure the virus. So
it would be insane not to speculate.
Yeah, exactly. So go to howtoheretic.com, click on the thing that says where the merch is, the Heretique, and buy some stuff from us. And then also, let's just do a show.
Let's do a show.
Uncle Mark.
Yeah, speaking.
You're a man who knows how to create an interior.
It's part of my job.
You know the aesthetics of it.
That's part of the job.
You know the to make it beautiful.
I try. Or to make it ugly.
But
yes,
I don't know if you've noticed.
Yeah.
In this room that we're sitting in,
yes,
all of the chi flows to me. And I made that happen.
There are strong diagonals in here.
Yeah. And I made sure that I get all the good energy and all the shit poop energy.
I get all the chai.
Goes to the rest of you. Yeah. I believe chi and chai are the two sides of the same coin.
They're the yin and yang of
Chai tea and Tai Chi.
Yeah.
Whoa! What just happened? We just blew the doors off of something.
I'm taking full credit for that.
We're writing a racist line here, and I'm loving it.
No one ever said that before me. All right.
But Uncle Doug, tell us about your design, your interior design ethos.
Well, I do think there's a part of your job description that you're missing out upon, Uncle Mark. So, look, uncles, there are some dumb people in the world.
What?
And because this is the world we deserve and not the world we need, those dumb people are handling the coronavirus outbreak.
Yeah.
But when not busy fucking all this up, those dumb people like to engage in a little catch-all that we on this show like to call woo.
Yes, sure.
And today I would like to talk about a particularly ridiculous type of woo that everyone hearing my voice has experienced, mostly because your friend Meghan has told you that your kitchen table is not oriented correctly. That's right. I want to talk about Feng Shui.
As an extension, probably really of pyramid power.
They're all related.
Yes,
it's the same.
Do you know what? Sorry, guys, I realized about pyramid power, and I forgot to say it on the air.
What?
No Jews.
What,
There were no Jews involved in that theory, the conspiracy.
Well, clearly, Uncle Mark, you didn't dig deep enough.
Other than the fact that they built the pyramids, which they didn't.
That's who the Jews
there
are.
It is.
There it is. I found the Jew.
You found it. Everybody play Spot the Jew. There's the home game. You can buy it on the Heretique website.
Anytime somebody says everybody play Spot the Jew, something really bad is about to happen.
That's very true.
Yeah.
That's very true.
Poland's about to get invaded.
Exactly. So a shout out to listener Tim for today's subject, and also for a very generous one-time gift, which we'll talk about. But,
thank you, Tim.
Yeah. Like all good woo, Feng Shui's origins are lost in the mists of time. This, of course, allows modern practitioners to believe that the origins of their woo may be divine, or at least mystical, and it dovetails with most woo practitioners' belief that the ancient ones were wiser and more attuned than we are today. However, in the case of the inventors of Feng Shui, this might actually be true. Feng Shui in the Chinese literally means wind-water, and this is a very ancient form of geomancy, which is the method of divination that traditionally uses handfuls of soil, rocks, sand, bones, entrails, really anything, tossed randomly and then interpreted.
Can I just say that one time I had Chinese at an unreputable restaurant and got a bad case of wind water? It was not. You don't want it. I promise.
Nope.
In ancient Chinese cultures, this practice evolved into the practice of orientating possessions, buildings, settlements, and cities according to invisible forces of energy to help harmonize individuals and communities to their surroundings.
A noble enough goal.
Sure, why not?
Yeah.
My typical pronunciation disclaimer. I'm going to say a lot of Chinese words, and I'm going to say them incorrectly. Unless you are in fact Chinese, leave me the fuck alone. And if you are Chinese and in China, please stay inside and wash your hands.
Yes.
Feng Shui is the fifth of the 5 ancient arts of Chinese metaphysics, which may be the most fertile ground imaginable for modern woo. For example, the first art is Shan, or ancient Chinese philosophy. The second is Yi, which is ancient Chinese medicine. The third is Pu, P-U, you children, which is like an ancient Chinese form of Kabbalah. And the fourth is Ming, which includes various forms of horoscopes.
Yeah, I imagine Gwyneth Paltrow face down in those 4 or 5 things, like Scarface and a pile of coke.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like just wallowing in poo.
Tony Montana.
The fifth of these practices, the fifth of which Feng Shui is only a small part, is Jiang, or physiognomy, which is the observation of physical objects for signs and potents. For example, other practices of Jiang are face reading and palm reading. Right. So this is a whole hell of a lot of woo. In fact, the invisible forces central to Feng Shui bind the universe, the earth, nature, and humanity together and are collectively known as Qi or Qi. After having said all that, I am surprised that your friend Meghan has not materialized in this room to hand me all her money. Feng Shui is very, very old, with some practices being traced as far back as some...
Meghan flies around the world like Aladdin on a yoga mat.
Okay, Megan's going to be on the merch.
You're welcome, Megan.
Get your yoga mat skateboard.
Some practices in Feng Shui go back 12,000 years. However, this practice was honed into a cohesive discipline in the Yangshao and Han Shan cultures, which made up regions of China between 5,000 to 3,000 BCE. The practice originally relied on astronomy to determine the correlations between the universe and people. It relied on things like stars, asterisms, solstices, and equinoxes to determine which direction the door on a tomb should face or how houses should be oriented around a central plaza. An asterism, by the way, I know you want to know, is like a constellation, but where a constellation is defined as a region of the night sky, an asterism is an actual visible cluster of stars. Give me your money, Megan. Ancient Feng Shui...
Wait, how is that different? How is it?
Well, a constellation is like an area.
Okay.
Right, you can kind of abstractly group it.
Grouping of stars?
But an asterism is actually just a little cluster of stars.
Oh, okay.
It's not. It doesn't represent something else.
Yeah.
It just is what it is.
Okay.
Does that make sense? So ancient Feng Shui used various instruments.
Dan and I are like, no, it does not.
Nope. Moving on.
Yeah. Okay, Dr. Science.
The ancient Feng Shui used various instruments. The earliest of which was probably I'm going to mispronounce this, a gnomon, or it's the pointy part of a sundial.
Yeah.
Over time, more advanced and intricate instruments were developed, such as the Lemurian astrolabe, or she.
Lemurian.
It all comes full circle.
It's Liurin. I got it all fucking wrong. This practice chugged along until sometime around 200 BCE in the Han Dynasty, when someone, somehow, noticed that when a piece of lodestone, which is a naturally magnetized piece of the fortuitously named mineral magnetite, was suspended, probably by a string or placed on a piece of wood in a bowl of water, it always rotated and oriented itself to point between where the sun rose and the sun set. Now try to imagine how magical and mysterious this must have been to the ancient mind. It's still something to marvel at to this day. Indeed, as Violent J and Shaggy 2 Dope of the Insane Clown Posse put it in their 2010 haunting and enigmatic hit Miracles, quote, "The sun and the moon and even Mars, the Milky Way and fucking shooting stars. UFOs, a river flows, plant a seed, and nature grows. Water, fire, air, dirt, fucking magnets. How do they work?"
No.
Oh, yeah.
That's not real.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing.
The lyric ends,
It was that lyric that made me join the ICP. I was a juggalo for way too long.
Oh.
and that verse closes out, "And I don't want to talk to a scientist, y'all motherfuckers lying and getting me pissed." So, haunting and beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, there was kind of a philosophical moment there. How the fuck did they work? I think that's the name of the show.
If you've never seen that video, I highly recommend you watch it now.
Yeah,
Okay.
you really have to.
It's amazing.
Okay, great. That's an endorsement for Insane Clown Posse from your uncles.
And I also just want to say, you've never seen Donald Trump and Violent J in the same room at the same time, so there's that.
Right?
So back to the story. These Chinese magnets, or luopan, are actually oriented to the southern magnetic pole. Although one wonders why that matters, since any northern-oriented compass is oriented to the South Pole if one simply faces north and, turns around.
Right.
The luopan was not used for navigation for 1,000 years after it was discovered, but was finally put to use to its full navigational potential in the Song dynasty around 1000 CE. One little side note here. There is evidence that the Olmecs of Mesoamerica figured out how to use a compass for geomancy as early as 1000 BCE. Wow. Although they never figured out how to use it for navigation, they did predate the Chinese in discovering magnetism by nearly a millennium. So There's that.
And then they called it a Liahona.
That's right.
Holy shit.
Those amazing Mexican Jews.
The earliest form of Feng Shui, which dominated until the invention of the compass, was called the form branch. The form referred to as the form of the environment, so mountains, rivers, plateaus, etc., and was primarily concerned with the placing and orientation of tombs, attempting to achieve the perfect balance in order to harvest the most qi.
Oh, it's a harvestable thing.
You got to get that chi.
Qi's, it depends on who you talk to about qi. Believe me, everyone has an opinion.
All I'm saying is you got to plant before you can reap.
Yes.
That's right.
As ye sow,
Yes.
so shall you chi.
It's pretty dense stuff, and just scratching
Confucius,
the,
I think.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Confusion.
The
The form branch uses yin and yang theory, the five phase theory, or Wu Jing, and the 8 trigrams known as Bagua. It's a mess.
Yeah.
This was supplanted in part by the compass branch. Equally dense, this branch builds upon the form branch, adding such things as the school of the flying star and the school of the 8 mansions. I don't need to tell you all about that.
Yeah, no.
Of course not.
Everybody
That's-
knows that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it also,
Elementary school shit.
of course, it's so beneath
Let's
us.
not insult our listeners. Being too pedantic.
The compass branch obviously still uses the Luopan compass, which modern practitioners still use, and we'll talk about that. As we approach modern times, Feng Shui has broken into many, many branches, including but not at all limited to the San Yuan method, the San He method, the 4 pillars of destiny, the I Ching, the Ziwei Dao Shu, and the Da Liu Ren, and it goes on and on and on. So during the colonial period, Feng Shui was viewed by most Western imperialists as a quaint, backward superstition that they took great pains to intentionally disrupt when they built buildings in cities and towns, building buildings to totally disrupt the local Feng Shui because everyone in the past was an asshole. Interestingly, Feng Shui was banned under Mao Zedong, who saw it as a feudalistic and superstitious practice, and practitioners were even beaten if caught. But it remained popular in Taiwan.
You couldn't put a shelf in the corner of your room and someone would come in and beat your
I
ass?
know. you could put it there, but you had to say it was for different reasons.
Right. Yeah. Yes. In the Cultural Revolution, somebody would come beat your ass.
Yeah, pretty much.
That was kind of how it was.
Yeah.
It remained popular in Hong Kong and Taiwan, and the current communist regime in China has calmed the fuck down a bit. So when Richard Nixon went to China in 1972, there was a renewed interest in all things Oriental, and Feng Shui got swept up, along with a whole lot of other ancient stuff, into the New Age movement, which brings us to today.
Oh, my God.
Modern Feng Shui is...
Are you blaming Richard Nixon for Meghan?
That bastion for Meghan.
That fucking hippie.
Modern Feng Shui, as practiced by your various and sundry Meghans and Emilys, has little or nothing to do with what the very complex, if obviously wrong, ancient school of thought was, and has become a kind of interior design fortune cookie cult. It exists in the West mainly as a litany of vague maxims peddled mostly for that sweet, sweet Chardonnay money. When your furniture is placed, where your furniture is placed, which direction you are sleeping, whether you're facing doorways when you sit or not, lines between the front door and the back door, etc. These are all important factors that the practitioners of this science are well versed in. So here, for example, are some good Feng Shui tips for your home from the good people at mydomain.com, along with affordable, read incredibly expensive, solutions you can purchase right now. Why not? Tip, slow down the energy flow. Quote, when there is a direct line of sight between the front door and the back door, it means the qi is shooting through your house too fast. You want it to move in a graceful, undulating way that goes around your whole home evenly.
Qi needs a door?
Pew, pew, pew. Yeah. Just speedy qi. What if you get hit by a speedy qi?
That's a great question.
Yeah. Too much of a good thing.
That's your whole day just right there.
Gone.
Solution to this problem? How about this one Kings Lane Boulé runner rug for $115?
Oh, yeah.
How about another tip? Keep the path to the front door clear. Well, fucking duh. But there's more to that than you might think. Quote,
the fireman will tell you that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Quote, think of the qi as a first-time visitor trying to find your home. You want to make sure it's clearly lit, well-marked, and the address is visible. On the inside, you want to make sure you're not walking directly into a wall. It can metaphorically make you feel like you're up against that wall every day. Solution? Install a mirror in your entryway. But when you do, make sure you connect an intention to it, like expanding opportunities in your life or not allowing yourself to feel limited. And wouldn't you know it, we just happen to be selling this rejuvenation metal frame mirror for $299. Okay, one more.
My intention is to make me taller.
So stupid.
Tip, balance the 5 elements. Quote, the 5 elements, earth, wood, fire, water, and metal, can be present in your home either physically or symbolically. For example, you could bring the fire element in with warm tones like reds and oranges, or you could have actual fire with a fireplace or a burning candle. So stupid. Solution? Look closely at the literal and symbolic elements that are showing up in your home and try to strike a balance, or you could buy this Casina sofa for a mere $10,446.
We're in the wrong business.
I know.
We got to get into this feng shui.
We've been saying this for a while. We need to be cult leaders and purveyors of woo.
We are missing the boat.
These guys are making so much fucking money telling you to hang a mirror with intention.
Truly.
Yeah.
And so if you don't have time
My intention is it shouldn't fall off the wall.
Right.
My intention is to see my face.
Yes.
If you don't have time to throw your money away piece by piece, you can always hire a licensed, not actually licensed in any state or country, Feng Shui interior designer, complete with super ancient-looking Luopan compass, who will take all your savings in one simple bonfire. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And if you thought, for one fucking second, that self-anointed Queen of Wu and the avatar of every woman I have ever dated, Gwyneth Paltrow, was not going to get in on the action, well, welcome, new listener. You might consider becoming a patron. Paltrow's Goop website is replete with articles on how to bring Feng Shui into your home, into your heart, and when practiced correctly, into your orgasm.
Up your vajayjay.
Of course.
Woohoo!
As with all things Goop, all roads lead to the Goop shop, where one can purchase crystals, books, sheets, etc., all specifically designed, or at least marketed, to maximize your Feng Shui. And so here we are. An ancient kooky philosophy developed by, admittedly, the smartest of ancient cultures that still did not know why the sun rose, has been misinterpreted by modern people who should know better and turned into a profit opportunity for white people. Should you have an organized and intentional space within which to live? Yes.
Why not?
Should you consult a professional interior designer to help you craft that space? If you can afford one? Yes. Should you keep the path to your front door clear and free of clutter? Fire marshal says yes.
Yeah.
Should you design your house according to 10,000-year-old woo that is still too heady for the insane clown posse and waste your kids' college fund doing so? Unless you were in some kind of Brewster's Million scenario where you have to spend a small fortune in order to win a larger one,
Brewster's Million.
The answer is no.
Solid reference.
Yeah. Feng Shui uncles, it's what's for bullshit.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, there you go. I feel better already. Let's move all of the chairs around here.
Yeah, let's move our chi and move on.
Uncle Mark.
Yes.
There's a lot of derp out there in this there world.
If you say so.
If you're paying attention to the news, it seems like the derp is winning. But there's one place where the derp, she is the thickest. And Uncle Dan is going to take us to that place today.
Well, hold on a sec, just because we have a very emergency preparedness theme here. I did go on social media to talk about alternatives if you find yourself out of paper products in your house. And the derp that Dan's going to talk about is pretty thick, but it is a very thin single ply. So
that's true.
Use judiciously. And what is that, Dan?
Well, of course, you fellas are talking about the Bible.
La Biblia.
Yes. And I'll tell you this. If there's one thing that I've learned from studying the Bible, it is to abandon all faith in my fellow human beings. Not just the human beings in the Bible, of course. Most of that nonsense very obviously never happened. But rather, the Bible for me has just been an extremely potent indicator that all of my fellow travelers on this planet are, by and large, ding-dongs. Mm-hmm. All of us. Every single one of us.
Except us.
Because here's the thing.
Seems about right.
Well, obviously not us. But you have to say us so that you don't sound like a total dick.
Right.
But look, if you bring even the tiniest little bit of objectivity to God's holiest of books, even if only accidentally once in a while, you'll instantly see that the main theme that runs throughout the 1,200-page tome is inconsistency.
Yes.
The book contradicts itself over and over and over. God contradicts himself over and over. One prophet says one thing, and in the very next chapter, another prophet says exactly the opposite. And according to the Bible anyway, they're both right. So, the Bible is a glistening example of how humans, all of us, are so bad at reasoning that if we were given even a tiny bit of emotional motivation, we can topple our logic entirely, and the derp will triumph. So that's what we're going to dig into today.
Hooray.
Yes.
Today's bit of biblical derp is from the first book of Kings, also known as 1 Kings in the MAGA translation.
1 Kings.
1 king.
1 Kings,
yeah,
2
exactly.
Kings, 3 Kings, me king.
Chapter 16 of 1 Kings lists a series of kings in Israel, which sounded pretty straightforward, except that for chronological context, it tells us the year each king was crowned by saying it was the blank year of Asa, king of Judah, as in the 26th year of Asa, king of Judah, Elah, son of Baasha, became king of Israel. And I suppose that that's useful, except that in Chronicles 16:1, Baasha was still king of Israel, and that was listed as the 36th year of Asa. So how could he have died and his son become the king in Asa's 26th year? Just a cute little issue.
I think, Dan, they're more like star dates in Star Trek. It's just kind of bullshit.
They just make up the dates. Yeah. I mean,
Come at me, bros.
Nobody kept track of them.
Come at me.
Yeah.
I feel like the star dates are like hyper accurate. I feel like there's something about I feel like if you're not careful, trekkers are going to send you a long explanation of why star dates are the most accurate
True enough.
accounting of time in the world or in the universe. Anyway, the other thing is that I actually had never really noticed that Judah and Israel were two different kingdoms.
Oh.
That's just me being derpy. I kind of just thought that they were both the same. So anyway, I learned that Israel was the northern kingdom and Judah was the southern kingdom. And while we're on the subject, the word kingdom, in my mind, sounds pretty fucking grand. I hear that word and my brain gets real impressed. But let's get real about these ancient, quote, kingdoms. Think about the modern state of Israel, which is a cute little nubbin of a country, which is bigger than Rhode Island, but smaller than New Jersey. Now, take that and chop it into 5 or 6 pieces. One of those pieces is ancient Judah, south along the western shore of the Dead Sea, which includes Jerusalem. And one of those is ancient Israel, which is north up and around the Sea of Galilee. And most of that land was inhospitable wasteland. So these big-time kings ruled over vast kingdoms the size and scope of a couple of counties in southern Utah.
Yeah.
Just for context.
Yeah.
Not exactly like, empires the world over or whatever.
Bit of an aspirational title.
Yeah, it's not Britannia rules the waves. This isn't.
Yeah.
Right.
More
yeah, exactly.
County commissioner tops.
Here we are in Israel. Yeah, exactly. Here we are in Israel, and at least according to this chapter of this book, we are between the 26th year of Asa's reign in Judah and the 38th year. Israel has, and in that time frame, Israel has had 5 different kings. So, not doing great on the keeping a king around.
High turnover.
Front.
High turnover.
Yeah, it is. You know what? It's a volume gig. That's all. If you can't make it work, it's the next guy. The chapter ends with King Ahab. Now, the Lord was already pissed at these kings because way back...
I thought Ahab was a captain. Did he get a promotion?
Yes, he did.
Okay.
He stopped with the whale hunting long enough to become king.
Yeah, good for him.
Yeah, it's a step up.
Yeah.
You never know.
Everybody's entitled to a second act
goes
in
to
life.
show.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So way back 12 years ago, during the rule of Baasha, the Lord was accusing him of following in the ways of Jeroboam and causing Israel to sin. Now, I'm sure we all know how annoying it must be to God for his people to follow in the ways of Jeroboam.
Yeah.
Right? Am I right, you guys?
Jeroboam.
Rarely is the question asked, what would Jeroboam do?
Is our Jeroboam learning?
Ahab, here's the thing. Jeroboam was worshiping the wrong gods, and now Ahab was going a step further because he thought Jeroboam was being a pussy about it. While Jeroboam had been all about setting up altars to, not Yahweh, Ahab married the daughter of Ethbaal, the king of Sidonians. She was a hot little number named Jezebel, and her people worshipped the Lord, which doesn't sound bad, right? You'd think that would be good, except that it was a different word that meant the Lord. This word was not the Hebrew word for Lord. It was the just a sort of one of the Northwest Semitic languages word for Lord, which is Baal or Baal. Mm-hmm. Now, that's all apparently that Baal means. It's just an honorific.
I think you're right.
It means
yeah.
Lord. It's not a name. It's a synonym to the Hebrew word Adon or Adonai, which if you went to the Jewish Community Center for preschool and summer camp like I did, is a very familiar term in Hebrew prayer, because that's what they just call their God Adonai.
Yeah.
Baal is not a specific person or god or demon. It could refer to any god at the time, including old Yahweh himself. A little bit confusing, but the Bible decides that it's just a person, so there you go.
Right.
Jezebel's Baal was definitely not the great I Am, because that dude was pissed. So the Lord, the real Lord, our Lord, the big damn hero of this book, called on a cat from the town of Tishbe. He was a Tishbite, and that's true, to come and whine at them. That Tishbite's name was Elijah.
Elijah,
pretty
hero
famous
of
dude.
something.
Yes, indeed. And we're going to talk about his first bit of heroism now. He was furious with King Ahab. He told Ahab, how did he happen to be talking to the king? Did he just bump into him at Costco? Who knows? But anyway, he told Ahab that there would be a drought. Now, neither dew nor rain would come for the next few years until he, Elijah, said so.
Oh.
So, boom! Our boy Elijah put the hammer down. Except that once the drought started, he was suddenly public enemy number one, so he needed a spot to lay low for a while. So nobody would, torture him until he made the water come back or whatever.
Right.
So the Lord told him to go to the Kerith Ravine and just chill there. That was just a little bit east of Jordan. There was a brook for water, so our boy Elijah would be okay.
Wait, I thought there was a drought.
Shut up! Jesus! You're trying to ruin the story. No, we'll get to that.
It's fucked now.
There wasn't any food,
I don't buy
though.
any of it now.
Yeah.
Also, I'm sorry, but this is a country whose mascot is drought. The fact that there's a ravine anywhere with water in it would be a known fact, would it not? Or should I just shut up?
Just shush.
Sorry.
Just everybody shush, because you're about... Look, if we are going to question the logic of anything in this story, we will not get through it. So let's just accept what we hear and move on. Because here's the problem with the Kerith Ravine. There wasn't any food there. But this was the Lord's boy, so he had a plan. And that plan was birds. No, not birds to eat. That wouldn't be weird and disgusting enough. So the Lord decided to have ravens fly in twice a day and deliver bread and meat to Elijah. You hear that, Bezos?
Yeah.
Raven drones. Think about it.
It was the first Uber Eats.
Yeah, it really was. And how gross is that? It's just
so gross.
Ravens flying in, birds flying in your meals every day.
Yeah,
anyway,
I doubt
there you go.
The meat came from a sanitary source.
Right, yeah, exactly. Those ravens weren't washing their hands for 20 seconds.
Where'd you get the meat? Don't worry about it. Okay?
Don't worry about it.
Enjoy
Fell off
your
the back
lunch.
of a truck. Yeah. So anyway, as with all the Lord's perfect plans in the Bible, something went a little bit wrong in literally the stupidest way possible. As Prophet Doug said, when you curse a land with no water, apparently even the brook that's supplying the Lord's appointed prophet dries up. Come on, Lord. That's just bad planning. So the Lord sent Elijah to a nearby town where he said there would be a widow waiting to help out. Elijah went there and accosted the first old lady he saw, who was a lady out gathering sticks, because all good writing has fun little details like that, right? Elijah called out to the woman and said, "Hey, go get me a jug of water." To which she agreed and started off to her house, and then he yelled after her, "Oh, and bring me some bread too, please." The woman turned around and, I have to think, in the most incredulous voice in the universe, said, "I don't know if you've noticed, but we have this drought on, and it's kind of all anyone can talk about at the moment, so all I have left to eat in the whole fucking world is literally a handful of flour and a little bit of olive oil. I was just gathering these sticks here to make a fire and bake them into the last bit of bread that my son and I will eat before we starve to death and die. So, ... ...
No thanks.
It literally says that.
Hey,
she literally says that.
Hey, remember that thing you caused to happen? Yeah, well, it's here.
Right. Yeah, she's literally baking the last loaf of bread before she dies. This is her big plan. Cute, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, Elijah says, "Don't sweat it. Use that flour and oil to make me a loaf of bread and then bring it to me. Then go back and check it out. You'll have enough flour and oil to make another loaf for you and your son, and you'll always have enough until the day the rains come back." So that's a cute trick.
Whoever was in charge of calibrating the miracles in the Bible was a prick, because it always seems like here's some food, here's just a little more, right? It's never like an abundance. Your pantry will be full forever. It's like, go make that bread, and then there'll be another slice later. You're welcome.
Well, and
exactly.
This is the same guy who had the power to stop the rain. Right?
Yeah.
Like, that's the most it's like the following Storm from the X-Men around and watching her cause hurricanes and then also use that same power to wash her windows. Do we need this part of the story?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little bit superfluous, and it's kind of there, I think, to establish that Elijah's, got God magic with him because he makes, flour multiply, but Jesus Christ, it's low grade.
Yeah.
Like that is as basic as you can get with a cool thing. There is a second miracle in that lady's house because he lays low in that lady's house for a while. We don't know how long, but it's a while that he is there, eating magic flour bread with them. And then there's this whole thing where the boy was mysteriously dying, and Elijah prayed and saved him. It says that he threw himself on the boy 3 times, which to me sounds like he did CPR. Anyway, the boy comes back to life, thus firmly confirming to the widow that he is, in fact, the prophet of God, because apparently the eternal flour jars weren't enough, and it was just so super important that this one old lady was impressed by Elijah. But there's that. But let's get to the good stuff. Here we go. It had been 3 years into the drought, and life sucked. Famine was everywhere. Jezebel, very unhelpfully, if you asked me, had been killing off all of the Lord's prophets, which is sort of in line with the first rule of the Bible, which, as you guys all know, is bitches be cray. So one of Ahab's administrators, Obadiah, was secretly a Yahweh guy. And he became a prophet squirrel. He took 100 prophets of the Lord and hid them away in 2 caves. So 50 in each.
Can you imagine what insufferable company 50 prophets, oh my God, in a cave must be like?
Right?
Fuck that.
And then he somehow managed to sneak water and food to them all for a while.
That's a lot of ravens.
However long. That is a lot of ravens.
I think the qualifications for being a prophet must have been loosened in this time.
Right? Yeah. Anyway, all I can say is he took care of 100 people in 2 caves. Take that, family that hid Anne Frank. Anyway, so the Lord told Elijah to come back to King Ahab. Elijah went to this Obadiah guy and said, "Go tell Ahab I'm back." But Obadiah was like, Ahab has been looking everywhere for you and killing people trying to find out where you are. So if I tell him you're here and then you don't show up, he will straight murder me. So no, I'm not going to do that. But Elijah was all, I will totally 100% be here when Ahab shows up. Pinky swear. So Obadiah went, got him. And now it's time for the main event. Elijah told Ahab that Yahweh, his Lord, his God, was the bomb diggity and Baal was a bunch of bullshit, and it was time for a throwdown. Now, if Ahab had been smart, he would have just killed the guy, but he didn't. Elijah said, summon, I'll just quote from the Bible. Now summon the people from all over Israel to meet me on Mount Carmel, and bring the 450 prophets of Baal and the 400 prophets of Asherah who eat at Jezebel's table. So everybody in the whole county came and met on Mount Carmel, which is definitely, by the way, not a mountain by our standards, more of a mesa or a bluff or whatever. It's fine.
Yeah.
Anyway, Elijah said, bring and kill 2 bulls. It's your 450 prophets against me. We'll both prep our sacrificial altars however we want, but not light them, and then we'll pray to our respective gods, and whoever's cow catches on fire first wins.
Sounds fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
It's a good system.
Who doesn't like a sporting challenge?
Right. So home team goes first, and that means that all the Baal guys gather together. There's 450 of them. They prepare a real nice altar. They get the wood on there. They get their cow on, and then they start praying. And they pray all day long. And meanwhile, old Elijah's just standing there, like totally heckling. Maybe pray louder. Come on. maybe pray to the left, pray a little to the right, do something. And nothing. The fire never lights. The cow stays cowy, and they are sad.
Yeah.
So next up, it's Elijah's turn. Now he takes 12 stones representing the 12 tribes of Israel.
Well, why does everything have to represent everything? For fuck's sakes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Magic.
Okay. Fair enough. He arranges his wood in the middle. He digs a trench, which apparently is big enough to hold 2 seahs of seed, which apparently is about 24 pounds or 11 kilograms of seed. He doesn't put seed in them. That's just how we know how big the trenches are. So
the seed metric.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Hope that's useful for all of y'all. He cuts his bowl into pieces, arranges it on the wood, and then he does his big moment. This is a great trick, you guys. Are you ready for this? You are not even going to believe how good this is. Because he's going to handicap himself.
Oh.
Not only does he have his altar there, he brings in 4 large jugs of water and drenches his thing in water.
I remember this.
Then he sends out and brings in 4 more large jugs of water and just keeps drenching everything in this water. And then again, he brings 4 more jugs of water. The trench is filled. Everything is soaked. It's impossible that this could light on fire, you guys. It's not doable.
This is so baller that if it doesn't pay off, I mean...
Right. So then our boy prays to the Lord. Hey, Lord God, Yahweh, bring down the fire, baby. And boom, the fire of the Lord comes down and consumes not only the cow, but the wood underneath and the soil under it. And it even laps up all the water in the trench. And he wins.
Whoa.
Yay. Now, here's the thing. I got it. When I was a kid, when I was, in junior high, I got into magic a little bit. I'm a nerd. That's fine. I used to hang out at the magic store at the Crossroads Mall downtown.
Yeah, who told you that was
I'm
fine?
declaring it fine.
All right.
Eli said it was good.
Okay.
And so I used to hang out at the magic store downtown, and I used to read books on magic and all that stuff. But I like to think that even if I had never read anything on magic, I would be slightly incredulous enough to think to myself, you know what else looks a lot like water? Stuff that's really, really flammable.
Like kerosene.
Like kerosene or
very small
any
rocks.
number of oils or whatever that are highly fucking flammable.
Right.
So to me, what Elijah did was just a good trick. I mean, it seems pretty obvious that, like, if the fire's lapping up the water in the trench, that's not water.
Well,
fair enough.
It's like he's like a psychic because he set up the rules, right?
Right, exactly.
He said, okay, here's how this is going to work. And then his version of it works.
Right.
Yeah. I'll be a little skeptical
Everybody,
about that.
all of the incredulous dupes around are amazed and in awe and wonder, and he tells the crowd, which smart of him to have a crowd there, to seize all 450 of the prophets of Baal, and they do, and take them down to a ravine and fucking murder them.
Oh my God. That sounds about right.
That sounds awesome.
That is a high-stakes magic show.
Yes, indeed. Do not lose at that game. And then and that's the end of that. There's more. It goes on, but we don't have time for all of his magic shows. So that was the first one, and that is Elijah.
Oh, the moral of the story must be in the rest of the story, right? Because it's not in this part.
Correct. Well, the moral of the story is God is real. And the thing about it, and then of course what ends up happening is that rain comes, because that's what he promised would happen. So there you go. Elijah's real, and God apparently is totally okay with showing everybody proof that he exists. which I think is, to me, the big takeaway from the stories of the Bible is, why the fuck is God not doing any of this shit anymore? He used to do it all the fucking time. It has been 2,000 years since Jesus, and we have seen nary a real miracle that matters. So I'm pissed. That's all I'm saying.
Dan, have you ever seen a waterfall?
I'm so mad at you right now.
Magnets.
We're in a fight.
The fuck do they work? All right, well, great. Yep. That's Elijah, and I'm sure there's more highly moral things we can take from that story another time, right?
The Bible's just full of it.
That's
literally
full
of it.
And tell that one to the kids tonight before bed.
Yep. And with that, let us move on.
Let's move on.
Oh, friends.
Yes.
Gentlemen. These are indeed trying and
virus bags.
Scary times. But we do have some folks to thank, even still. Not everyone apparently is a server, and so some people are not losing all of their income right now. And they've chosen to give us some money, and that is a beautiful thing for them to do. So we have some folks to thank, including CLV. Thank you very much. And I believe, Uncle Mark, I'm going to give you the task of inventing on the spot, as is our job, a saint for Susan.
Oh, Susan is a dear friend of ours, and so we want to outfit her with the most germ-resistant saint we possibly can.
Please do.
Very few to choose from. You'd be surprised in that category. It is Saint Megawati of Witchy Watchy Springs, which is Florida. If you guys haven't been there, they've got a mermaid show. It's quite a thing. But she is the patron saint of the Pinnipeds, Manic Mondays, and any song where it's possible to say third verse same as the first. So congratulations. Congratulations, Susan, on that.
That is Susan. You are truly a fortunate woman. And Uncle Doug, you have to do one too. For It Pees When I Burn.
Well, it pees when I burn. Shit. I'm gonna. Your patron saint has nothing to do with the coronavirus, so we can all take our minds off the impending end of humanity for the next 8 to 12 seconds. Your saint is Saint Nikolai of Yuzhny Island, up in the Kara Sea. That's the patron saint of narwhal migrations, unintentional ejaculations, and weeping willow-related amputations. So there you go.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah, there was a time in my life where I needed the patron saint of involuntary, unexpected, unplanned ejaculations, whichever it was.
Was it because you were watching a narwhal migration? Because that is
stop talking.
From high up in a weeping willow.
Thank you all, friends, for your kind donations. We really appreciate your help. As you know, I lost my job because of, or one of my jobs because of this damn virus. So we're all chipping in to help. Everybody has to chip in to help everybody, and mostly chip in to help us. And do so.
We're the biggest victims of this plague, clearly.
100%. Well, you're postponed too, Uncle Mark.
That's true. I've had a business trip postponed, and it's absolutely true.
Same here. And really quick, we should do a quick update on the sponsored Lucian Greaves visit to Utah Valley University that was supposed to happen in mid-April. It has not officially been postponed or canceled, but we are anticipating that. We will keep you posted. Our friends down there will keep us posted. We're hoping for the best, but fearing the worst. So there's that. Yeah,
there you go. But anyway, we thank you so much. Go to howtoheretic.com if you want to, if you are still making an income and want to spread it around some. And we sure appreciate all of our patrons. Stay safe out there. Let's move on.
Let's move on.
Uncle Dan.
Hey, Uncle Doug.
In these dark times, there's very few things that bring me personal happiness. And so I have
light times, are there any things that bring you personal happiness?
Almost none. But one that does in good times and bad is annoying my brother.
Yes. I feel like that brings joy to all of us.
And I've been training for it my whole life.
Mm-hmm. It's the gift for every anniversary, isn't it?
But there are other people who annoy Uncle Mark.
Yes. Well, there are, guys, and other than the two of you, there are a few, and let me get to this, because this is anyway. We're living in a strange time, and as we three are, as we've mentioned, being even more socially distant than usual, we are all three of us in separate locales doing our small part to push down the fucking curve.
Yep.
On this here Chinese hoax of COVID-19. My husband and I are only a few days into this self-imposed exile, and we've gotten so bored that we threw a little birthday party for our cat. I saw that. Some of you may have seen her with her 2 and 0 birthday candles on her little plate of salmon on our Twitter feed.
Oh my God, is she 20?
She's 20.
Yeah. Holy shit.
20 years young. And she's
That's
got a few
amazing.
lives left. Yeah, she's awesome. So it was a good time, but this is good. This period in our history is going to get weird. So
yeah.
And speaking of Twitter and social media in the time of plague, it is a pretty fascinating place. And among the tons of hopeful videos of Italians having a ball, playing music together from the isolation of their balconies, there's of course, I know they're amazing, and there's of course fear and very well-deserved rage at the utter clusterfuckery and undoubted coming death toll at the hands of the orange shitler in the White House. But among that, and so help me God, all the anti-vaxxers and homeopathic fools claiming crystals and bee pollen will cure you of anything, there are of course, those out there saying everything happens for a reason. I know I shouldn't let it, but this little pumpkin spice latte of Namaste coexist sticker feel-goodism makes me a little mental. The vast majority of the time, the Meghans or Chads in your life that deploy it don't mean any harm. No. And even I observe some social niceties that I know some atheists hate, like reflexively saying bless you when people sneeze. I probably should stop that, but that's a chat for another time. So yes,
I like to just add on to it. I like to make it longer. I like to say, may the Lord and Savior please bless your nose, or something like that.
May the high God be Beelzebub.
I always say God damn you to hell when somebody sneezes.
Oh, I like that too. That's a good way to go.
So there are plenty of things that, and really almost everything happens for a reason. If the tree outside your window is moving around, the reason is the wind is blowing it.
Yeah, there is causation in the universe.
If the soup you're eating is hot, the reason is because you cooked it. If an apple falls out of a tree and hits you on the head, it is, as famous strange person and mostly genius Isaac Newton theorized, the Earth's gravity pulled it free of the tree and towards its massive self, so gravity.
Right.
Yes, Meghan, there are reasons for things. This is, as Dan mentioned, causation. That's what the things above are, causes and effects. But as of this recording, there is zero proof that the reason for anything is because some sort of divine pre-planning and or universe desiring a thing for you and or angels making a near-miss car crash into just that. Causation is not correlation, neither is it intention. Unless the intention of yourself or another extant person is the cause, right? Very simple. So projecting an intellect and meaning into the spaces between the known is, sadly, a very human trait, and we've been deluding ourselves that way for a very long time. Uncle Dan explored this with his discussion on pareidolia in episode 20. Yeah. There is likely an evolutionary root, or yes, reason for this. Our brains project patterns into dark spaces. We've all experienced the sensation of seeing a face in the trees, late at night, and fucking freaking out. And Meghan, that wasn't a ghost. That was an eons-long development of a gift evolution gave us, enabling us to see the face of a tiger before it pounces, perhaps living a moment longer. So
right, so that you get that one more second of terror before you die. That's always a good thing to have.
So you can order one more pumpkin spice latte in front of Uncle Mark.
Life's final gift. So that's just the fight or flight sensory reality of pareidolia. This pattern projecting also slops over into the intellectual, philosophical world as well. Sun worship and a desire to control the terrifying, unpredictable cycles of life and nature by, quote, understanding them and then by somehow appeasing them is universal in the human experience. And this is the wellspring of every religion, living and dead, on Earth. the fact that they tend to give men unquestionable power over women's minds and bodies and those of girls is just one of the many wonderful side effects of our species trying to cope with being afraid of the dark. So everything happens for a reason was codified in a very weird and entirely unconvincing sort of apologetic that Christians still go to all the time, which is so strange to me, called Aquinas' 5 Ways, or the 5 Proofs. And I'm going to leave it to our old friend, Professor Jim, to come on and give it the slow roasting it deserves. But in brief, Thomas Aquinas was a 13th century monk and theologian who decided what the God-tormented world of the time needed was a way to prove that God existed.
Right.
Well, guess what, guys? He had 5. 5 ways, also known as 5 causes. His argument...
And it's really pretty airtight, as I understand it. Now, I know I haven't read it for a while, but I am told, and I'm sure you're going to confirm this, that there's no way around it. Once you say these 5 things to us, we will believe in God.
You will believe in God. Are you ready for this? So his argument was that we mortals could never...
I don't know if I want to believe in God. I don't know if I'm ready for this.
His argument was that we mortals could never see or know God in this life, but we could track him like an elk or something because we could observe his passing by the amazing things he caused to be. And this is, I'm going to just sum it all up for you. Essentially, things move, therefore someone is moving them. That's God. Things exist, therefore someone caused them to exist. God, declared Aquinas. Some things are possible and some are not. So, hey, everybody, meet God, etc., etc. And he ends with, hilariously, with the shittiest 5th way, the argument from design. And I quote Aquinas, we see that that natural bodies work towards some goal and do not do so by chance. Most natural things lack knowledge. But as an arrow reaches its target because it is directed by an archer, what lacks intelligence achieves goals by being directed by something intelligent. Therefore, some intelligent being exists by whom all natural things are directed to their end, and this being we call God. The end.
Yeah.
Done. Right?
That is the argument of a person who has never fully examined how shittily we are designed. Because if we had a perfect designer... If any of the critters on this earth had a perfect designer, there would be some major differences. I just cannot see how a perfect designer would give me nipples. I don't get it.
Well, I mentioned this to you guys before, but when I was debating those Christians outside Temple Square, I was having the same argument about how, we're clearly not perfect. I choke on water.
Yeah.
Like, how could that be a smart design? And they're like, well, what would be better? And I'm like, a dolphin.
Yeah.
And I could tell that no one had ever said that to them before because there was a moment of panic in their eyes. Like, oh my God, he's right.
It's just all you have to do is put the breathe hole on the other side from the eat hole. They don't have to be the same hole. There's just no reason for it.
Exactly.
Aquinas clearly had never seen a platypus.
Right.
Like, what the fuck is that about? So he surely dropped the quill on that big finish of the argument from design.
Yes, indeed.
See, everything happens for a reason. Keen listeners will also know that this leads us, like an arrow to the target, to the classic God of the gaps fallacy in all its glory. We discussed that in episode 24. Basically, it is, we don't know a thing, therefore God.
Yeah.
And this habit of pounding God like a piton into every gap that science and learning have narrowed still goes on today, although the gaps are far, far fewer and much more spread out. When Thomas Aquinas was strolling around Sicily with that stupid haircut, Jupiter was almost 400 years from being discovered. Today, we are aware of the existence of hundreds of exoplanets outside of our solar system.
And we will discover Jupiter one of these days.
We'll find our way there. And we're about to launch a space telescope that may be capable of seeing them in some detail.
Yeah.
The gaps, once gigantic, are getting very small indeed. Yet, this desperation to cram a watchmaker into the works persists. I get part of it, the idea that the world is nothing more than an African savanna where the strong eat the weak, and the slow and the sick, and there's no referee can be a spooky feeling, especially if you've been swaddled in the downy comfort of believing bad things never happen to good people because of Jesus and his super friends, or something somewhere is manning their station on your behalf.
Right.
But Growing up both physically and intellectually means realizing that simply isn't the case. Tom Hanks has the coronavirus and Donald Trump does not. Yeah, millions of people prayed for God to stop the Holocaust, but he didn't. The godless Russian army did. Babies die in house fires. Football teams lose the big game. Your best friend is going to stop talking to you someday, and there is zero proof at all that all or any dogs go to heaven. So,
you killed somebody on that one.
They all go to hell.
All dogs go to hell. Cats go to heaven. There's a great meme out there that I might have mentioned before on the show. That's an image of a huge fucking galaxy in the void of space, and the caption over it just says "No lives matter," which is no. Have you not seen that?
No, that's funny.
It's brilliant, but has likely been co-opted as an anti-Black Lives Matter meme by the pudgy basement Nazis of America. So that's yet another example of how everything sucks and there is no loving God. But it makes a great point.
Those PBZs, man, I'll tell you what.
PBDs having their PBRs. It does make a great point that there is no celestial crossing guard making sure you get from cradle to grave safely, right? However, of course your life matters. It matters to the people who love you, and even the ones who just like you. But does the planet care? No. If it were to feel anything, the planet would fucking hate us.
Right, that's true.
It sent out this devil bug to kill the three of us locked in our respective panic rooms, while Republicans sneeze on each other and pass tiny hand-to-hand monsters because of Hillary's emails proving this is all a Chinese hoax.
Yeah,
and why wouldn't the Earth hate us with all Doug's done to it? But that's simply the case.
Come at me, Earth.
Oh, don't challenge it right now. But that's simply the case.
Doug, it is coming at you right now, currently.
Yeah.
I will live forever.
Good.
I am immortal. So the universe is mostly nothing, then rocks moving at insanely high speeds, a dash of intense background radiation, then some big shit way too hot to touch, then at least one semi-inhabitable place where we all get to chill for a bit, and it will eventually kill you one way or another without a second thought because it cannot think, it can only be. Yep. Asteroids be asteroiding, supernovas be supernovaing, and microscopic organisms that share the same drive to live you do be evolving at incredible rates of speed and looking for a warm nose to have babies in. This is the truth of it. Saying everything happens for a reason also absolves the person saying it of being proactive in or taking responsibility for the very often bad thing they are saying happened for a reason.
Yeah.
If you lost a friendship or a job or an opportunity by fucking up saying, this is what the universe wants for me, is the fucking thing same thing as saying YOLO after breaking someone's heart. And just as insidiously, it absolves whatever supernatural wingman you may have of any moral consistency and integrity. The same God or good feeling that you feel guided you to the most amazing yoga class in Chelsea also let the Anthill Kids happen. So go back a couple episodes for that romp.
No, please don't
do that.
Nobody go back.
The same guy that you just knew brought your family together for the perfect Christmas getaway is going to kill your granny with the coronavirus. Don't believe in that guy. That guy's a fucking monster. And because he doesn't exist, it's super easy not to believe in him. Shoo pretend monster. And please stop crediting him or the vast void of freezing space with the good things that actual people do. Like when the American guy who recovered from Ebola thanked Jesus for saving his ass as he laid in bed surrounded by the doctors and nurses who took great risk and actually saved him.
Yeah.
And really, stop saying everything happens for a reason when something bad happens, especially if you are the actual reason it happened. Right. Everyone knows you need a priest to absolve you of your sins. You can't just mechaleka hiney-ho yourself. And where do you get the arrogance that the universe cares so fucking much that it wants to act as your day planner? Even if God existed, he's planning famines, hurling hurricanes about gay pride parades he's mad about that hit the wrong cities, cooking up the next pandemic. Don't bother this all-loving genocidal maniac with helping you find your fucking car keys. We are in a moment right now as a species and insanely interconnected global society where the actual reasons for things are very, very critical to understand and get right.
Yeah.
I mean, we all know it's probably all the doing of the Jews, obviously, but let's make sure we get it right this time, okay, guys? if this thing continues to explode and vulnerable and not so vulnerable people get sick and die and people go broke and lose jobs and the global economy tanks, there will be reasons. And those will be that nobody knew when to take this seriously, that Trump didn't accept the World Health Organization test kits because he wasn't going to profit off them, and that everybody is still going out and going about and not realizing that their bodies are aircraft carriers full of zillions of little corona spiders until this is going to get way, way worse and it's going to be too late. Those are the reasons, Chad and Meghan. So, to conclude, the universe is mostly a lot of hostile nothing. Jesus, if he ever existed, died all the way dead on that cross and never popped back out of the tomb to see his shadow. Is the world a cold, shitty, uncaring place where survival of the fittest is the only scripture that is really true? Could be, if we let it be. But we don't have to. We can make it a warm, rewarding, interesting place to be if we want. Look at the Italians and the Spaniards singing and playing together, into the night as the plague ravages their countries. I don't know what we Americans will do. Maybe we'll throw toilet paper at each other from across the street, if social media is any indication. But if we want, we can be the reason good things happen, and we don't have to wait for Jesus. He's dead, you guys. So that's it.
You're so right, but I just want to mention that it is not just by God believers who use that bullshit about everything happens for a reason.
No.
That magical thinking extends all the way through to all people of all sorts of belief and non-belief. And it really does need to stop. The idea is so ludicrous on its face and so non-comforting if you just think 3 seconds about it.
Right.
That really, don't ever say that to anybody. Your grandma doesn't die for a reason. She's just dead, and we have to deal with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the reason she died is she had leukemia.
Right.
Don't try to say that some intellect decided to give it to her. Right? What kind of world are you expecting people to live in where that's a thing?
Don't try to convince me that her death will somehow be of benefit to me.
Yeah.
I may learn something from it, what you're doing is trying to push off my grieving and not care that I'm in pain. You know what I mean? It's such a nasty thing to say when you're trying to make someone feel better.
It is. It's very cruel.
And if you're saying that to make someone feel better, you are an asshole.
Right. And it also...
you may not be on purpose. If the whole point of this is that some people say that reflexively, it's certainly in the zeitgeist of our community. So it's not like you're a dick necessarily for saying it, but we're bringing it to your attention so that after you've heard this segment on our show, then you're a dick for saying it.
That's right. Well, for two things. You now believe in God because Aquinas' 5 ways just completely blew your brain out of your ears.
Try it. True.
And don't do that shit anymore. And it also robs, like the guy who recovered from Ebola, it also robs the people who really did a good thing of the credit for the good thing they did. Why be that guy?
Yeah, don't be that guy.
Don't be that guy. So everybody wash your hands.
Yes, please do. And we'll move along.
Well, before we go, guys, one quick thing. If anyone hasn't seen that Italian who's quarantined playing his stove like a DJ booth, I highly recommend it. It will make you.
See that. It's hilarious.
It will make all the things better.
Yeah,
we'll see if we can get that link into the show notes. We may not remember,
Absolutely.
But we'll try to.
All right, let's move on.
All right.
Well, friends, that's it for this week's Quarantine Show.
Hey, we'd love to hear from you, but not in person. Send us an email at howto@howtoheretic.com.
Or if you have toilet paper to trade for Ameros or blue-eyed white boy children, you can leave us a voicemail about that at 903-88-HOW-TO, which is 903-884-6986. I'm also still barely alive on Twitter at howtoheretic.
And thanks to our non-contagious patrons.
And thanks to Cody Layton, who was, as of last week, still alive for editing the show.
And you're welcome, everybody, for some content while you're stuck in your home.
Yeah. Bye, friends.
Bye.